Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurya Wannita. My NPM 2040601083. In this video, I will share you about Chapter 5, Animal and Language Learning. The first scientific attempt with an orangutan. Withrop and Lula Kaluk raised in companies named Gua and their son, Donald. Gua and Donald were born last 3 months apart, with Gua the younger. For 9 months, they were raised at home as siblings. Initially on a problem-solving test and a mental ability test, they got the same score, but over time, the child outperformed. The Kellogg's note that Kev exhibit a remarkable ability to learn by imitation. I grew up in an ordinary speaking environment with no special language training provided. Despite the similarities in their upbringing and their physical, Gua did not learn to pronounce any word, even though they were repeated many times to him in context. However, at the same time, the boy became quite fluent in spoken language, even able to produce speech with some syntax graphic. Donald has been able to say no, shake hand, don't touch, give it to Donald, don't kiss Donald. Quite an impressive achievement, even in a later research took not clear. The experiment was stopped. The research noted that Donald picked up on too much of the chimpanzee behavior. The second is teaching spoken English to an African grey parrot. We know that parrots and certain other types of bird can be taught to imitate human speech, but can they learn the language? Paperbird and Kozak research in 1986 on a male African parrot, namely Alex, who was able to demonstrate his competence well about color, shapes, and material of more than 100 objects. Even Alex can correctly name several items, such as key, cups, toy truck, and so on. Alex is not only adept at identifying items, but also able to reject and answer questions related to abstract categories of shapes, color, material, and quantities. On Alex's cognitive ability test, involving questions like what color is object X, what shape is object Y, and etc. More than 80% of the questions were done correctly by Alex. Several times he made mistakes. For example, he initially produced box as both and then replied to question on color with the answer rock instead of the correct block. Error indicate that he behaves in the same way as human in making psychological error. Alec also has amazing achievement, especially in the recognition of abstract categories, which show that has surpassed the aspect of language knowledge shown by apes and dolphins. However, Alec has not yet reached the level of syntax that dolphin and but given that research is ongoing and parrots are renowned for their longevity, there is still a chance that he will acquire more syntax. The last is teaching Rico the dog to understand spoken English words. 13 December 1994 was a border collie that made headline. after being studied by animal psycholinguistics Julian Kaminsky and colleagues from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig. After it was reported that it understood more than 200 simple words. Rico is a border collie and born in December 1994. He lives as a pet with his owner and is reported by them to be aware of the level of more than 200 items. Border Collie were bred to respond to the combination in intelligent ways, vocal command and human wisdom, which make their vocal excellent sheepdogs. Rico was first introduced to picking up at 10 months old, when his owner placed 3 different items in different locations around. When his owner placed 3 different items in different locations around the plate and asked his dog for one of them. Rico is rewarded with food or a game if we choose the correct object, but it's not clear what the hand smart effect is. So we did an experiment. When he was tested from retention of new word object combination 10 minutes after being determined, he actually picked up the target item in 4 out of 6 trials. This experiment showed that Rico can reliably associate every 3 acoustic pattern. This experiment showed that Rico can reliably associate every 3 acoustic pattern, human word, with certain item in his environment. The conclusion of a new word based on an event is present with a new item along with a set of familiar items. This is in accordance with the acquisition of the principle of the no-level category, and also to avoid lexical overlap that is explained to the child. Rico can store about between word and object in memory because he can get the target item correctly from a new item and find out immediately after a new word object combination. So the conclusion of this chapter is we can say animals can talk, but it can all be answered through the character of his communication. Humans communicate with each other creatively. They can recreate variation of any language. On the other hand, animals can communicate quite specific and stereotype. They can communicate only for the object they are trained on. The studies of Wasu, Sarah, Lana, Coco, Kenzie, Dolphin, and Alex show only minimal level of achievement.